We're going to get started this morning with that looming deadline for former President Donald Trump.
His legal team has until 5 o'clock today to respond to the prosecution's request for a protective order. Prosecutors want to bar the former president from publicly disclosing some of the evidence gathered in this case. Over the weekend, Trump's team filed a motion to move that deadline to Thursday, saying they needed more time to discuss. U.S. District Court Judge Tanya Chutkan denied that request. This comes as the former president ramps up his rhetoric, both online and on the campaign trail, trying to discredit the trial. Trump released a flurry of social media posts aimed at Judge Chutkan, his former Vice President Mike Pence, and the Biden administration. He also attacked special counsel Jack Smith in public comments on Saturday during a Republican dinner in South Carolina, calling Smith deranged. He has denied any wrongdoing in the case and continues to downplay the charges against him. We have NBC News legal analyst Danny Savallo standing by this morning. Let's start, though, with NBC News correspondent Vaughn Hillyard with the latest details. Vaughn, good morning. That protective order requested by the prosecution, what are the Justice Department's biggest concerns here, and how is Trump's legal team responding to today's deadline?
Right. This was a similar protective order that the special counsel's office was able to place on Donald Trump in the classified documents case. The prosecutor's argument is that Donald Trump should not be able to disseminate or publicly talk about evidence that is presented to his attorneys through this discovery process ahead of the trial here. And the DOJ, in their filing on Friday, wrote, quote, such a restriction is particularly important in this case because the defendant has previously issued public statements on social media regarding witnesses, judges, attorneys, and others associated with legal matters pending against him. I mean, just one of the social media posts from last week from Trump was, quote, if you go after me, I'm coming after you. The prosecutors have suggested that Trump's revealing of any potential information could have a harmful chilling effect on witnesses or adversely affect the justice system as it plays out over these months ahead.
So, Vaughn, I mean, despite concerns about the former president's activity on social media, Trump was posting about his former VP, Mike Pence, over the weekend. In a True Social post, Trump said that Pence, quote, has gone to the dark side. Now, keep in mind, the defense has said Pence could be a star witness for Trump during this trial. How is Pence responding to all this, and how central is he becoming in this case?
Right. This is a perfect example to what the Department of Justice in its filing on Friday suggested could amount to potential witness tampering here. He's calling Mike Pence delusional. Mike Pence very well could take the stand in the trial. He testified before the grand jury as part of the special counsel's investigation. And if a judge were to see this as being a pressure campaign on a potential witness, that is where Donald Trump, if this protective order were to be implemented, could face potentially additional legal challenges. I want to let you hear from Mike Pence yesterday directly respond to Donald Trump's attacks against him. Take a listen.
You know, I testified before the grand jury under a subpoena after we got clarification from the court about protections that I have under the Constitution as the president of the Senate. But I have no plans to testify. But look, we'll always comply with the law.
Mike Pence had said that he did not believe that Donald Trump should be indicted in this matter here, but at the same time, he is running for president against his former boss, and you saw Donald Trump's comments laid out in the indictment last week, suggesting that Mike Pence was, quote, too honest. Mike Pence's presidential campaign right now has T-shirts online for sale with the words, quote, too honest on them. Joe?
So Trump, let's talk about him, also took to social media to request that the Judge Chutkan, recuse herself from the case, claiming that he would not be able to get a fair trial in Washington. Has his legal team suggested they would actually file a motion to have this done, and have the judge's past rulings indicated that she might actually recuse herself or change locations at all?
There's no reason to believe at this time that the judge would recuse herself, or that a motion to change the venue would ultimately be granted. Donald Trump has made these suggestions in the past, and it has not been ruled in his favor. Yesterday, his top attorney in this case, he did come forward and say that they intended to potentially file a motion to have this change of venue, and his suggestion for a place to move this trial would be West Virginia, because he cited it as more diverse. Of course, their concern here is that a D.C. jury pool is potentially much more anti-Trump. Of course, on the flip side of this, in 2020, West Virginia, Donald Trump won by a 2-to-1 margin. So, of course, if this were to go before a judge, there would be much to consider. Joe.
All right. Vaughn Hillyard kicking us off this hour. Vaughn, thanks so much.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.